Welcome to Between Authors. I'm your host, Adrian Lopez. If you enjoyed this video today, please like and leave a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss all the amazing authors that are going to be coming up in this podcast. What is it that excites us as a reader? It's finding that author or book that you have never seen before or heard of, the treasure hunt as a reader. My goal for this podcast is to bring to you authors that are not currently household names, but may have been that treasure you have been searching for all along. Today, on episode 1 of Between Authors, I want to introduce you to author Kaylee Gotsis. We will learn a little more about who she is, what she has published, what she is working on, what she has planned for the future. And if we have a little time left, we'll discuss her obsession with chickens. Welcome to the show, Kaylee.
Hi, thank you for inviting me to your show. I'm very excited, nervous too, though.
Do this, Kaylee. Tell the viewers a little bit about yourself outside of writing. Just give us a little bit of a introduction of who you are, things you enjoy. Maybe not the chickens right away, but other things you enjoy, love doing.
Well, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so a lot of times, if I'm not doing writing or anything like that, I'll either be drawing or I'll be with my son, and we'll be doing blocks or letters or numbers or something like that. I don't. My mind's going blank right now,
No worries. No worries. So let's get into what you've been working on and stuff. So the most important one today is this episode is going to air on August 12th. And on August 12th is going to be the release of your first book, A Witch's War. Yes. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what A Witch's War is, anything you want to tell us about the story or the characters, and just let everybody know what the book is about.
So A Witch's War is a fantasy, fast-paced novella. It's not as long as a normal novel, but it is quick-paced, which is the kind of books that I more enjoy. It's about the main character, Ophelia Maine. She is the daughter of a very respected master who has all. So sorry, I'm just stuttering and everything.
No worries, you're doing fine.
I'm sorry. Just a minute. I'm so sorry. He gets banished because he does fall in love with a human, which in this world, magic users and humans don't like each other. Well, he's trying to bring in this gap, and when he has his children, he basically puts that on them. And Ophelia, she really takes a liking to this ideology, but the younger sister, Iris, she really doesn't. And right as you begin the story, you get struck with a bunch of trauma, I guess you could say. Iris and Ophelia immediately wake up to the reality of, like, this is why humans and magic users don't like each other. I won't say what exactly it was, but it gets them in trouble, and their father eventually, and I'll spoil this, but he does get executed. This basically is like the butterfly effect that just completely turns the sisters against each other. And as they get older, Iris kind of has this huge hatred for humans and what they've done, and she goes into the very wrong path while Ophelia is trying to get on the correct one and trying to do what her father did and trying to bring everyone together. But as the story progresses, you kind of realize that not everything is exactly black and white, and maybe Iris has a point, maybe Ophelia's wrong. I kind of wanted my book to have a lot of layers to it, so the readers, when they're done, are like, well, I don't think Iris was all that wrong, or maybe Ophelia was like, she was right, Iris is crazy. You never know. Mm-hmm. So by the end of the book, I wanted there to be some I wanted some thoughts to be left for the reader, like whether Ophelia, like I said, like was correct, or maybe if Iris had some points, or maybe like kind of take back, like maybe there should be more to maybe there's a lot more layers to it.
Yeah, actually, I was lucky enough to read the beta copy of it, and it is a great story. It's very well written, and the story does build. And you do, towards the end, you do see the two sides. You know, you will be probably on one side, but you do see the two sides of the story and why each went their own way. Let me ask you a couple of questions about the book, just general question. What was the hardest scene you thought in the book to write?
Um, the war for sure. That one was so hard. I um I actually had my brother help me because he has my little brother. He has he's very creative when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like he has his own YouTube that he'll like do fight scenes with my older brother, and went to him. I'm like, Zach, this is what happens, but I'm gonna need some help. Like, how do I write this? And he was like, okay, this is what you should do. And it came out great. I was so excited about it. It made writing it so much more fun.
Yeah,
And
you did a great job with it.
thank you so much.
So besides that, did you do any research specifically for the book or the story?
Yeah, so I actually did a lot of research about because the book, in my head, I try to convey it like way back, kind of like similar to Game of Thrones, like it's way further back. So I was like, okay, what can I look up? Like, what did they wear? What were the foods that they ate? What was their culture like? And then I was like, okay, now I gotta imply. There was just one chapter where when Ophelia actually goes to the out of the homelands into the kingdom, she gets on like this contraption. It's called the bridal. It's hard to pronounce, but it's an actual real contraption that was made in like the 1800s that a lot of men would use on women to keep them quiet. And I was like, it's bad, but it works. Like
It fits the scene.
exactly like
Yeah.
it works.
And then the last question is, since this is your first published book, did it do anything to change your writing process or how you approach it?
Yes. At first, because I've written stuff like I'm 24 now. About 10 years ago, I would go on Wattpad and like write really bad, cruddy fan fiction or stuff like that. But now I was like, okay, I really want to write something that I would like. And as I was writing, I was like, okay, I can't just write what I want to write. I gotta actually like sit down and plan this out and find all these loopholes if I can, and trying to actually like come up with a whole new world with all these new rules. And it's a lot different than what I used to do when I was little, and definitely changed a lot. And I read a lot so that my writing can be a lot more, can flow a lot better. It's not just repeating the same thing over and over again.
Mhm. For everybody that's watching this, down below on YouTube, I will leave the link to Kaylee's book as well as the other stuff we're going to discuss in the episode today. And I will also leave any of the links for my stuff as well. So, hopefully everybody goes out and picks up this book because it is a great read. I did truly enjoy it. I love the story. And like I said, you did a great job with it.
Thank
But
you
let's
so
discuss.
much.
You're welcome. Let's discuss. You have some other stuff you've been doing as well. So you have been also doing your coloring books that are also
Yeah.
available on Amazon. Why don't you go over those?
So my first one is my farm animals coloring book. I wanted to do something. I knew I wanted to do coloring books, but at my first one, I was like, I want to do something I know my son would enjoy, and he really does. Um, so basically, that one is just about a 25-page coloring book, just all about farm animals like donkeys or sheets or stuff like that, with little activities and puzzles that they can do. And then I went from that to my second coloring book, which is Doggy Doodles. And that's just all like customized pictures that people have sent me that I've turned into coloring pages for them to get on Amazon with 100 different dogs with their breed and their name. It's all personalized, so it, when they get this, it does mean something to them, which I really wanted. And my next one is pretty much the same thing, but it's colorful cats, and it's going to be all about cats. I might even do more than 100 because I know a lot of people have more than one cat.
Mhm.
So I'm very excited to get that started. And pretty much how that's going to go, it's going to be like dogs and the cats and then the dogs again. It's going to go back and forth for a little bit. So I'm always taking submissions. If you want to have your dog or cat in a coloring book, I'm always taking submissions for that, just on my Twitter.
Yeah, and we'll leave that down below too for everybody who doesn't currently follow you on Twitter. And yes, we'll still keep calling it Twitter, and
Oh, yeah.
so they can follow you and send a submission. I actually thought that was a great idea when I saw you were doing that, because it's a way to keep it different all the time and keep it new. Every
Oh,
time you do
yeah.
that. So I did think that was an excellent idea.
Thank
I know
you.
besides the coloring books, because you're very busy, because I've seen all the stuff you keep posting, is I noticed you're also doing notebooks and journals. Why don't you discuss a little bit about
Yes.
those as well?
So the journals was actually an idea that I had for back to school. I love journals. I write in journals. When it came to back to school, my favorite thing to do with my mom was to go to the store and go to the stationery area. It's always been my favorite. And I was like, okay, I would like to do my own, but I want to make mine really cute and have a lot of aesthetics that other people enjoy, but that I enjoy. So right now I actually have 5 designs, 4 that are actually published, but 1 more that is soon to be published. I plan on doing 12 altogether. And right now, I believe I have a froggy design out, a boho design out, a dessert design out, and like a leaf design that I think turned out really pretty. And
Okay.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, don't worry.
Actually, on the inside of each notebook, there's like a little doodle that's like on the top that has something to do with the aesthetic that's on the cover. So like the dessert, there's like a little muffin that's in there, or a frog that has like a little frog face on it.
Yeah, I have seen them. You did a great job with those. They look great as well. The other thing I want to touch on is we didn't really touch on it when we talked about A Witch's War. Is you did do your own cover for A Witch's
Yes.
War. You did draw it yourself, and
Yes,
again,
I
you did a
did.
great job.
Thank you.
And I know that you have been working on possibly doing more artwork, more of the drawings, besides your coloring book and the journals and stuff like that. Do you have anything else you have planned for the future on that side of it?
I know I'll be probably for any future books. I know I'll probably be doing my own book covers, but I also have like a giveaway on Twitter or Twitter X or whatever it's called now. That once I hit a certain amount, I believe 10,000 followers, I will be doing like a book cover giveaway where I'll draw someone's book cover that they really want done with any genre, any subject. I'm down to do. It'll be fun. I'm really excited for that.
That sounds good. So we'll make sure we get you to 10,000 followers on Twitter pretty soon here. So let's go over also, you do have a Medium account. I know you do a lot of articles and writing on there as well. Why don't you discuss that and let everybody know what that's about?
So my Medium account I started a few months ago. At first, I wanted to do very environmental articles, and I still plan on doing a lot more about like climate change or endangered species and how we can help. But I also do a lot of writing tips because I've learned a lot while writing my book, and I'm still learning a lot. So I was like, okay, why not just share that? And I've gotten a lot of people who really enjoy it, which makes me really excited. So I have a lot of like writing tips and like what you can do to help your book, or how to set a good schedule for it, like throughout the day. Just stuff like that. I even have an article about a Chrome extension that also really helps with note taking. It helps keep it organized and stuff, which is really nice.
That's good. We will put down below, besides again the links for your books and your coloring books and everything. We'll probably put your link tree as well, so everybody can find your Medium account, your Twitter account, everything on there as well.
Oh yeah.
So, to the most important part of this interview, let's discuss your obsession with chickens.
Oh yeah. I love chickens.
Where did that begin, or how did it grow? Or
So chickens, really, it was like a year ago. I was on TikTok and I saw a chicken video and I was like, I'm hooked. That's where it kind of started, and it just hasn't gone away. I annoy my boyfriend about it all the time. I love chickens. I even call my followers that are people who follow me. I call them my little chicks. I try my best only using like chicken gifts like on the replies. I love them. I love them
yeah, you
so
always
much.
surprise me how many you can find that you use when
Oh,
you're replying on stuff.
I will purposely like search up and I'm like, oh, which one haven't I used yet? I love them so much. Uh,
That's
I
great. So,
sorry.
no, I know you're working on some other books as well. Or I know you had started some. Is there any you want to discuss, or is there anything you want to talk about on those?
I have two book ideas that I'm really like hooked on. One, I actually was talking to you about it. It's Ladies of the Lake. It's
Mhm.
basically about a siren that is in a lake. The town is very secluded. Apple Clear is what it's called, and basically the main character, she kind of gets drunk right in the beginning of the book. Not too drunk, but she goes out and she sees two drunk men by the water, and they get sucked in by the siren. She's like, oh my god, what the heck? And she doesn't know what to do, but she has a podcast about urban legends. So she's like, okay, maybe I can try to unravel this, solve this mystery, expose this siren. But throughout this, she kind of does meet up with the siren, and as she starts to get to know it, she's like, maybe not all the details are done, but the siren and her kind of get close a little bit, and she kind of realizes like, maybe I shouldn't do this. But as this is happening, this podcast starts getting popular, and people are now coming to the village to try to find the siren and hunt her down. And she's kind of like conflicted on what to do. And I'm not going to spoil the ending, but there will be a very dramatic ending to that, which I'm
Yeah,
very excited for.
I actually am too. I was lucky enough to read some of it, some of the beginning of, and I did. Again, I thought it was a great idea the way you were building it and writing it. For those viewers out there listening, Kaylee and I are kind of each other's beta readers for
Yeah.
whatever we write. So we kind of go back and forth and say, "What do you think of this? How does this sound?" So I did read the beginning of that, and I thought it was well done, and I did like the storyline. And what is the other one that you're working on?
So that one is called The Trails of Ambrose. So this was inspired by a video game that I was playing, fantasy. But basically it's about this 12 year this girl. She just turns 12, and in this very very old times when 12-year-olds can like drink a little bit, they have the celebration, and she starts drinking. And before the celebration, her grandma, she kind of tells her there's this rumor or this legend that's like among us, and pretty much there's this fox spirit, and if you see it, you have to follow it, but you'll disappear. No one knows what happens. It's already happened to multiple people, but it may not happen. But once you turn 12, you have this possibility. So she's kind of like, all right. And on her 12th birthday, she actually finds trails. She follows them, and it's the fox. So she's kind of like, I have to accept this. But when she wakes up and she's in this whole new realm. She doesn't die, and she has this fox, Ambrose. She kind of tells her like, yeah, we're kind of in trouble. We need help, and she has to go on this huge adventure to try and get back. But I don't know the details just yet about that. But that's an idea that I have. I'm very excited for.
Nice. Sounds good. So is fantasy kind of where you see yourself kind of staying in? Do you ever see
Yeah.
yourself branching out any at all,
Um.
or
If anything, probably romance. But I really do like fantasy because you can like bend the rules a little bit and have all these crazy scenes that you really wouldn't get in like more realistic type of stories.
okay? Is there anything else you want the viewers to know about you or what you're working on or anything on that side?
Um, my website, I do have writing services and artistic services. So, for writing, like I can do articles, or I can do ghostwriting, or I can do proofreading, or editing, or stuff, anything of the sorts. Everything's on my website. And then for artistic, I do logos just like I did yours, and then um, book covers. But I do have that giveaway. So
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to mention that, but Kaylee did do the logo for Between Authors. You will see it in the top corner of this video when it comes out on YouTube, and you'll see it every time I post something about the podcast. You will see the logo as well. So again, I want to thank you, Kaylee, for coming on the show, for letting everybody know a little bit more about you. Again, as this airs, it will be August 12th. It will be the day your book comes out, the actual release of your book. It's currently on pre-order now, since we're recording this a little ahead of time. But the day this is released, it will be available for purchase in all formats. The link will be down below. We'll leave the link for your coloring books, your journals, your Medium account, your link tree, your website. Just make sure everybody has everything so they can get in contact with you and just continue to follow you in your journey in writing.
all right, yay! I'm so excited.
I am too. Thank you again for coming on, and it was really a pleasure chatting with you and then discussing everything you're working on.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank
I'm
you.
so
Thank
I'm
you,
so
Kaylee.
happy to be the first.
No worries. Thank you very much. And again, for all the viewers, please like if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment for either Kaylee or myself. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification because there's going to be a lot of amazing authors coming up, so you don't miss any of those. I have posted in a couple of places, and I will probably put it down below this video as well. The first 5 are already scheduled with the date, so you know which ones are coming up for sure. And thank you for joining, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Bye.